Hello everyone, and welcome to ASIS Student Chapter's first program of the year. My name is Sarah Emerson, and I am the chair of the SJSU ASIS Student Chapter. Our program tonight is a student workshop, the first in a series, on the topic of screencasting tools and tips. The presenter of tonight's student workshop is Florian. Frank is an SJSU FLIS student expecting to graduate in May 2012, and he currently serves as program director in the ASIS student chapter, as well as a D2L peer mentor for SJSU FLIS. As for his background, he received a BS in electrical engineering at UC Berkeley and worked at Intel in the Silicon Valley for 8 years in a variety of engineering positions, including microchip design and system validation. He has carried his interest in science and technology over into his current pursuit of an MLS at SJSU FLIS. His current interests in the LIS field include cataloging, information organization, including metadata and taxonomy, web design and user interfaces, digital libraries and archives, distance and virtual library instruction, and reference service for science and technology information organizations. Frank will be taking questions in a Q&A session after his presentation, and as Frank reminded everyone before this program began, on a quick side note, I want to remind everyone that this program will be ending by 7 p.m., which is when Dr. Hirsch's first Directors Forum begins. And now here is Florian to begin the student workshop.
All right, thanks for that introduction, Sarah. Well, let's get started. We've got less than an hour to go. I want to leave a little time at the end for Q&A. So what I'd like to do is give my presentation and do a little live demo at the end as well, and then leave some time for question and answers. Given the amount of time that we have for the session, I can't possibly go into every detail of screencasting, nor do I even profess to have that level of expertise. But if there's anything I want you to take away from this session, it's that there are some surprisingly easy to use tools enabling you to create high quality screencasts for a variety of purposes. So my goals for this workshop are to shed some light for you on exactly what a screencast is, why you might even want to consider using screencasts, an overview of some of the tools that are available. And again, here there's more than we could talk about in this one session, so I'll just give you a representative sample of tools with which I'm familiar, and where to get these tools, and then a bit of the nitty-gritty practical details of how to create and use a screencast. So what exactly is screencasting? I like this definition from Wikipedia, which basically states that a screencast is a video recording of what's happening on your computer screen, often with audio narration. Whereas a screenshot is a static image of your computer screen at one point in time, a screencast is a video of the changing state of your computer screen over a longer period of time. Well, okay, that sounds cool, but why would I want to record what's happening on my computer screen? In other words, why would I want to use screencasting? I'm sure we've all had the experience where we've tried to explain to someone either what's happening on our computer or tried to explain to them how to do some task on the computer, either over the phone or through a seemingly endless chain of emails. It can be hard to explain something that's happening on your computer in a specific enough manner so that someone else understands exactly what you're seeing on your computer or can do exactly what you're doing. Screencasting is a tool that makes communicating with others, such as clients, students, teachers, colleagues, friends, classmates, you fill in the blank. It makes communicating with others a lot easier and more efficient. Screencasting introduces a visual aspect to your online communications by allowing you to take what's on your screen and easily show it to someone else. On this slide, I list a few examples of uses for a screencast, and I've used almost all of these at least once myself, including showing my mom how to use a website. And one of my professors this semester has used Jing, one of the free screencasting tools that I'll be talking about a little later on, to record simple lectures for the course with either a narrated slideshow or a live demo of a software tool. So screencasting is a really great tool for educators. More specifically, for us as FLIS students, screencasting is a great tool to have in your tool bag to liven up your assignments for your courses. Say you have to create a pathfinder of resources and how to use them for a reference class. You could find a creative way to incorporate a screencast into that pathfinder. And I'll give you an example of how I did that in my reference class for one of my assignments. As future librarians, it also lends itself well to online instruction and reference transactions. So it's a great tool for any librarian to have at their disposal for interacting with patrons online. On a practical level, that resonates with most of us in this program. It helps you build up some tech cred and gives you good evidence to use in your e-portfolio. And beyond all that, it's just a great way to share and network online. And not just while you're in school, but in your professional pursuits later on as well. So this slide is just an overview to give an example of how I used screencasting in one of my past course projects. The assignment involved creating a bibliographic instruction module for my 210 reference class, which was to be delivered as a presentation of some sort. The instructor encouraged us to use Web 2.0 or social networking tools as we saw fit. So I delivered part of my presentation as a regular talk with slides in Illuminate, but I created a handout for the presentation in the form of a wiki using Google Sites, and can't really tell that this is a Google site, but this is the name for the site here. And then I embedded a short screencast on one of the pages which contained a guided tour of an online federal government information resource, specifically the online version of the Statistical Abstract of the United States. I created this screencast with Jing, a free online tool that I will cover in more detail in a bit. Okay, enough of the marketing to convince you of the usefulness of screencasts. Let's get into where to find these tools and how to use them. Looking at what's available in a very high-level way, screencasting tools come in two basic flavors. The first flavor is tools that are web-based applications. In other words, there's nothing to download and install. All you need is a web browser, which we all already have. For the tools of this flavor that I've looked at, you also typically need Java and Flash installed on your computer. But these are so standard nowadays that just about anyone who uses the internet a lot has them already installed. Not only that, Java and Flash are already required for the SLIS recommended home computing environment setup, so there's no issues there for SLIS students. The other flavor is screencasting tools that are standalone applications that you need to download and install on your computer in order to run. Another thing to note about screencasting tools is that they come in free and commercial versions. Now with free, you often get what you pay for, which is practically nothing. But there are some surprisingly sophisticated and high-quality screencasting tools available for free online. Like I said, one of my goals for this workshop is to let you know how relatively easy it is to start screencasting without having to buy a fancy commercial tool. Of course, the commercial tools are awesome, so if screencasting becomes something you want to pursue, the commercial tools will offer a lot of expanded capabilities, especially for editing your screencasts after you've recorded them. But you can create some very good basic screencasts with just the free tools. Speaking of editing the video, most of the free screencasting tools don't offer much, if anything at all, in the way of being able to edit the videos that you record. Why would you want to edit a video? Well, editing allows you to remove sections of a recording, splice together clips that you recorded at different times, and add fancy effects into your video like transitions and callouts, among other things. The commercial versions, of course, offer a rich assortment of these powerful editing options. However, for a lot of uses, the basic ability to record a narrated screencast without editing is more than adequate. If you already have some sort of video editing program on your computer with which you are familiar, you can always record using one of the free screencasting tools, save the video to your computer, and edit it there, and then share it with others once you've edited it. Pretty much all the screencasting tools, free and commercial, allow you to save the video you've created directly onto your computer. You can upload the video you've created to a hosting site, such as YouTube or Vimeo, and many of the tools have the capability built right into the interface for the tool to upload the video right after you've finished recording it directly to a hosting site, such as YouTube or a specific hosting site set up for the tool itself, such as Screencast.com for the Jing tool. Once you've uploaded your screencast, you can share it with others by sending them a link to the hosted version via email, or by embedding a player into a web page, wiki, or blog post, which will play your screencast right on that page. And hopefully I'll have enough time in the demo later on in the presentation to show you an example of that. The last bullet just enumerates some of the different formats you can save your video in. Most of the free tools will only allow you to save into one or two of these formats, whereas the commercial versions allow much more flexibility by giving you a wide choice of formats in which to save your video. The two most popular formats for online sharing and hosting are Flash and MPEG-4, and most of the free tools allow you to save your screencasts into at least one of these formats. I included this slide just to give a visual representation of how videos are shared. Since video files can be quite large in size, sharing one by sending it as an attachment to an email is not really an option at all. So after you've created your video, you upload it to a hosting server and then share it with others by sending a link to the hosted version to others, who can then use the link to access and view your screencast on the hosting server. Okay, now let's get into an overview of some of the tools that are available. I'll spend most of my time on the free versions, since these are probably the ones that will be of most interest to you, especially if you've never done any screencasting before and want to check it out for the first time. Just out of curiosity, if I could have you guys click on your smiley face if you've done some sort of screencasting or used some screencasting tool before. Okay, so there's some of you that are that have at least dabbled with it. Hopefully this information won't be too basic for you. So anyhow, well, like I said, I'll spend most of the time on these free screencasting tools. For the free screencasting tools, there are quite a number of other tools that are available besides the ones that I've listed here, but these are a good representative sample. The first two are web-based applications, so nothing to download and install. These two right here. And the other two are standalone applications that do need to be installed first before you can run them. Screencast-o-Matic, cool name, is one of the web-based applications that gets mentioned a lot online when people talk about free screencasting tools. It does require Java and Flash, but as I mentioned earlier, these are pretty standard nowadays, and this shouldn't be an issue for any of you. Most of the free tools do have a time limit on how long you can record for one video. And Screencast-o-Matic has a very generous 15-minute time limit. The limit is much shorter for most of the other free tools. Screencast-o-Matic also gives you a lot of flexibility by allowing you to save your video into a number of formats. Most of the other free tools only allow you to save into one or at most two formats. To use the tool, you create an account with them, which then allows you to upload your videos directly to their hosting server after you've created them, or you can upload to YouTube if you prefer. Screencast-o-Matic has a lot of really great online tutorials to help you get started and learn how to use the tool. Kind of nice that they've actually created screencasts to teach you how to use their screencasting tool. They also have a pro version which has no recording time limit, although there is still a 15-minute time limit if you upload to the Screencast-o-Matic hosting server. The Pro version also includes some very basic editing features and no branding on your videos when you save them to your computer or upload them to YouTube. Screener is another free tool that, like Screencast-o-Matic, is a web-based application. I'm not going to spend quite as much time explaining this one. It's very similar and just as easy to use as Screencast-o-Matic. It does have a shorter recording time limit. It has less options for saving out your videos if you want to save them onto your computer. It only saves to the MPEG-4 format. And they don't have nearly the variety and depth of online help and tutorials that Screencast-o-Matic does. However, like Screencast-o-Matic, the tool is quite user-friendly and easy to use, so you can probably get by without the extensive tutorials like those offered by Screencast-o-Matic. They also have a pro version available, but the pricing for it looked like it was targeted more to businesses instead of individual users. Okay, now we're getting into the free tools that are standalone applications that you need to download and install before using. CamStudio, not to be confused with CamStudio, a commercial screencasting tool, is another free tool that gets good reviews in the blogosphere. It only comes in a Windows version, so this isn't an option for Mac users. I haven't actually installed and used this tool, so the information I'm giving is based more or less on what I was able to find out on their website. It doesn't appear to have a recording time limit, and I think it also has some basic editing features built into it. However, you can only create videos in a single video format, the Windows AVI format, which isn't as widely used for online sharing. You might have to use another tool to convert it to either one of the Flash formats or the MPEG-4 format before saving it on some sharing sites. There is no associated hosting service or upload mechanism built directly into the tool, so you'll have to upload your screencast manually after you've saved it onto your computer. I did find a series of help tutorials on YouTube which are nice to know about if you want to check out this tool. And there's a link to those, to that playlist of tutorials. There's also a FAQ and community help forum accessible on their website. But overall, not as user-friendly as the first two tools I've covered, requiring a little bit more involvement from you to sort of install and use the tool as well as upload your videos. Jing is a tool that I've had quite a bit of experience with and that I've mentioned already a couple times in this presentation. In fact, it's what got me started in screencasting and is the tool I used for that example course project I showed you earlier. Jing does have a 5-minute time limit for recordings, which is one of the drawbacks. When using Jing, you create an account on their free hosting server, Screencast.com, so that you can upload your recording directly to their server or save it to your computer in another Flash format, the .wsf, which stands for Shockwave Flash. There isn't a mechanism to upload directly to YouTube, and I'm not sure if you can upload the .wsf files to YouTube, so the free version of Jing may be limited in that sense. However, they do have a pro version available for a nominal yearly fee that adds the capability to save to the much more common MPEG-4 format, as well as upload directly to YouTube. In addition, like Screencast-o-Matic, Jing has excellent online help and video tutorials. Okay, so that covers the representative sample of free screencasting tools. Like I said, there's many more, but we just don't have enough time to go over all of them. For the commercial tools, I'm not going to go into any great detail. I just wanted to mention a few tools that are out there. These do offer a much richer set of features and a powerful array of editing capabilities. The ones I've mentioned here come in both Windows and Mac versions. I've included the prices I've found on their websites for a single user license just to give you an idea of the price ranges involved for these tools. There are definitely other options that are cheaper than the ones listed, but these seem to be highly regarded tools that are mentioned quite frequently by online reviewers. I've used CamStudio quite a bit. For those of you who have watched some of the video tutorials for D2L in the student tutorials area, I created all of those tutorials with CamStudio. The tool is made by TechSmith, the same folks who make Jing, and I have found it to be an excellent tool that is not overly difficult to learn, partly due to their excellent online tutorials and help resources. Okay, so that was kind of a whirlwind tour of a representative sample of available screencasting tools. So here are my personal recommendations. If you want to try out screencasting without the commitment of installing a standalone application onto your computer, you can't go wrong with either of the web-based versions I covered, Screencast-o-Matic or Screener. Screencast-o-Matic gets a little bit more of a nod due to their longer recording time limit, the variety of formats for saving a video, and the excellent online help. So it might be a better choice for first-timers who want some more guidance to get started. But both tools are fairly easy to use. So I would recommend, if you're feeling adventurous, try them both out and see which one you like better. For a standalone app, Jing is by far one of the easiest to use for first-timers. And it's so easy to use that it's great for even experienced screencasters that want to create and share a simple screencast quickly and easily. In addition to its screencasting capability, Jing also includes a great screen capture feature for doing static screenshots. Unlike the print screen feature in Windows, and I can't say how it works in for a Mac, but the print screen feature in Windows, you can only capture the whole screen or a whole window. But with the screen capture feature in Jing, you can capture any part of your screen, and you can also add simple annotation to the screen capture before saving it out to an image file. Jing's main drawback is its 5-minute recording time limit, but I'll talk about this in a couple slides when I give you some tips for screencasting. And finally, for commercial apps, I can definitely recommend CamStudio as a good bang for your buck if you or your boss have the money and you want something that vastly expands your capabilities for creating screencasts. As somebody in the chat window mentioned, Captivate, of course, is a great tool. Adobe is a standard. They're an industry standard for all kinds of content creation and authoring tools for online content and documents. So an excellent tool as well, just a little bit more pricey. This slide just gives a couple quick resources which you might want to explore if you are interested in learning more about screencasting and exploring on your own. Meredith Farkas's Library Success Wiki, which some of you might have had a chance to check out, has a section on online tutorials, which contains a list of tools as well as the ways in which libraries have used screencasts, and I think a listing of sort of representative screencasts on library websites. This website, the Screencasting Handbook, has a pretty thorough list of the available screencasting tools as well as links to websites for these tools if you want to go off and explore on your own. The TechSmith Learning Center, the folks that make Jing and CamStudio, have really great online help and tutorials, both for using, so it's useful both for learning how to use their tools, but also just about learning about screencasting in general. And then here was a blog post by the O'Reilly folks on one of their blogs about screencasting that I found kind of useful for an overview of the subject. Okay, so before I move to a live demo, and it looks like we'll have some time for that, I wanted to just talk about creating a screencast and give you some basic tips for it. The first point is a really key important point. Having created a lot of screencasts myself, I can tell you that it is really challenging to create a screencast just by ad-libbing and sort of going off the cuff, so to speak. I found it very useful both for screencasts as well as for presentations when I'm doing presentations in class as well as this presentation to create a storybook and a script. Storybook not so much for presentations, but definitely for a screencast, so you sort of know the series of actions you want to follow and then have a script you're going to use for the narration. Once you've got your script, definitely rehearse your demo and your script before recording for the first time. Once you start recording, especially when you're using the free versions that have no edit capabilities, you're going to have to resign yourself to doing multiple takes before you get it right. Since you can't edit the video and edit out all the spots where you get stuck or where you stumble over your words or where there's long pauses, you'll just have to start over and do it again. Most of the free tools only allow you 5 minutes anyhow, so it's pretty doable, but just allow yourself that time to go through multiple takes before you get the right take. For audio, don't use the built-in computer mic. I would recommend at the very least getting a halfway decent headset. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Anything in the $20 to $50 range at Radio Shack would be fine. But the built-in mic on most computers just isn't going to give you good enough audio quality for a screencast. When doing a screencast, make sure to speak slowly and enunciate clearly. Similarly, with your on-screen movements, make them smooth and not too erratic, especially when you're moving the mouse across the screen or when you're scrolling a window. Don't do it too quickly because it may end up looking a bit jerky and jarring in your screencast. Here's that point I told you about working with the time limit. If you want to do a longer screencast and you're using one of the tools that have the 5-minute time limit, go ahead and break your screencast up into parts and just record it in parts, and then you can present it to and share it online and present it to users as a multi-part screencast so that they can watch the parts in succession. And then the last thing is have fun. The tools are not that difficult to learn. It's kind of fun to learn how to use them and become familiar with them, and it's actually quite satisfying to see the final product when you actually create a screencast and you've incorporated it into an assignment or you've loaded it up onto one of the hosting servers and you can share it with others. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to app sharing. You know what I'll do is, let me do the app share because I really want to, I was going to maybe take some questions, but I think I want to make sure that I get a chance to demo a couple of the tools to you guys. So I'm going to switch over to app sharing right now. All right, so can you guys give me a smiley face? Can you see my desktop? I just shared my whole desktop. It's a little bit easier for me to move windows around because I'm going to be switching between windows. All right, good. All right, so what I'm going to do is just open this up a little bit. I don't need to see the chat window. Okay, so I'm at the first of all I want to cover is Screencast-o-Matic. I'm on their main website. As you can see, I've logged in. I have created an account, and I'm logged into my account right now. So I've gone to the website, and to do a screencast, literally it's as easy as clicking on the Start Recording button. Like I said, if you have Java and Flash installed on your computer, that's all you need. So let's do that. I'm going to click on Start Recording. So what it's going to do is going to take a second to load up the Java application, which is going to record your screencast for you. Okay, it looks like it tried to, I'm going to delete this recording. All right, so, and then once the application is loaded up, you'll get this little dotted line square. This is the area that you're going to record when you actually start recording. You can position this square so that it's anywhere on your screen, and you can even resize it so that you just record a specific area. So what I've done is I've sized it so that I'm recording what's going on inside the viewport of my Internet Explorer browser. So I just want to make sure, can you guys all see that okay, that the way I did that? Just give me a smiley face if that looks okay. If you're okay, good. All right, once you've sized that, there's a little menu down here where you can select your mic if you want to verify that the mic is selected. If you just talk into your mic, you should see the little volume meter here going, which means that your mic is connected and it will record your audio. You can also change the instead of dragging and dropping, moving manually resizing the window, the square, you can actually do it, set it to sort of some standard resolutions here. And if you have a webcam attached, I think you can actually record the webcam as well. I haven't used this, but if you're so inclined, you can play around and explore that feature as well. So now I'm just going to record. I click on Record. I get a countdown, and now I'm recording. So I'm just going to talk, and I'm going to switch over to another tab on my browser where I have a website loaded up. Okay, and just because this is going to be a really short demo, you can pause at any point if you need to stop, catch your breath, find yourself in your script again, and then to restart, just click on the Start Recording button again. So now I'm going to record a few more words. And you can see an elapsed time here. Again, remember Screencast-o-Matic allows 15 minutes of record time, which is actually very generous. I have recorded very few screencasts that get anywhere even close to that long. And when you're done, just click on Done. So now you're taken to the window that appears, allows you to do a preview of what you just recorded. So if you actually kind of want to check it out before uploading it, you could hit on the play button here. But I'm going to skip this step and go to the next step. And I'm going to upload it to the hosting server into which I'm already logged in, as I showed you earlier. So you just click on Upload to Screencast-o-Matic. Just going to give it a name. And these fields I think are required because they have a little asterisk here. You can add a captioning file, which I don't know a lot about, but like I said, Screencast-o-Matic has a lot of good online help, so you can find out about that if you want to explore that. There's some advanced options. You can actually remove the audio track, and if you recorded the webcam, you can also remove the webcam recording. And that's it. I'm just going to go ahead now and click Upload to Screencast-o-Matic. Now what it's going to do is it's going to encode my video, and then it's going to upload my video. So it's going to take it might take a minute or two to do that, especially if you've recorded a longer one. The video that I recorded was maybe a minute or two. Still encoding, so now it needs to upload. Okay, and let me see, while we're waiting for that to go, I'm going to go ahead. The other tool I'm going to demo is Jing. And I've already started up Jing, so once you've started up Jing, it sort of just sits there in the background on your computer, and there's a little sun that appears on one of the edges. I think by default it appears on the top edge. So we'll come back to Jing in a second. Let's see if Screencast-o-Matic is done uploading yet. Still uploading. Okay. Well, I'm just going to show you how to do an easy screen capture in Jing while we're waiting for that. So once I've started Jing, if I hover my mouse over the sun, which appears on my desktop, and then I click on this leftmost ball that's hanging off the main sun, that's the capture tool. When I click on that, it gives me this cursor, this crosshair cursor, which I can use to select an area for screen capture. To do that, just left click, drag, and then release the mouse button. I think I'm trying to do too many things on my computer at once, so it's running a bit slowly. Okay, so now it's ready for screen capture. Now I could do a video capture, but there's not really anything interesting to take a video of here, so I'm going to show you how to do a static screenshot. If I click on that button, then I see this window here with my static screenshot. Now I can name it and then save it to an image file on my computer, but one thing I wanted to show you with Jing is that you can add some really quick and easy annotation to your annotations to your file before saving them. I can add an arrow. I can create a little highlighting box to outline some things on my in my screenshot. I can create a text box. I can move things around, and I can use this highlighter tool if I want to highlight some text. So that those are just some of the cool annotation features you use. You can edit those annotations. You can delete them, and then once you're ready to save it, you can just save this file onto your computer, and it saves into a PNG format. And then once you've saved the file, you can send it as an email attachment, or you can embed it into a discussion post in one of your courses. So let's go back to Screencast-o-Matic and see if they're done uploading. Okay, so it's done uploading. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down this. I'm going to go back to the main Screencast-o-Matic page. And then I'm going to go to My Screencasts. And here's oh, here it is, Frank 1. That's the one I just created. So if I want to send someone a link to it, I click on the screencast. And then if I scroll down, here's a share link. If I send this link to someone, actually it was playing my video, so I stopped that. So you can get the share link, so you can send this link so that people can get a direct link to your video on the Screencast-o-Matic server. And if you want, there's this embed code, which if you want it, if you have a website that you maintain yourself, or you have a wiki or a blog, you can take this embed code and drop it into one of those pages, and it will embed a player that will play your screencast directly on that page. And then here you can see you can also download the video, and you can choose the different types of formats that you want to download in. All right, so let me go back to Jing. I want to do a quick demo of Jing too. How are we doing on time? All right, I'm going to make this one quick, so we leave ourselves a few minutes at the end for questions. So let's go back to Jing. I'm going to click on Capture. Now, if I have a window open, I can, if you see when I move the crosshairs around, it selects different areas of the window. You probably either want to select the whole window, or if you don't really want the title bar and the menu bar, you can just select inside the viewport, so you're just recording what's inside the viewport. So I'm going to do that. Then again, I get this little menu where I can either capture a static screenshot, or I capture a video. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to count down, and now I'm recording. So I can talk, tell people what I'm doing on the website. I'm on the Screencast-o-Matic website. I just uploaded a screencast that I created with Screencast-o-Matic. And then when you're done, again, you can pause along the way and then resume. Screencast, remember that Jing has a 5-minute time limit compared to Screencast-o-Matic's 15-minute limit. And then when I'm done, I just click on the stop button. And what Jing is going to do is it's going to bring up a little window, again with a preview, so I can preview the screencast if I like. Then I can name the screencast. Once I decide I want to save it or upload it, I can give it a name, and then I can either click on Save to save it to my computer. And remember that Jing saves out to a SWF format. Or I can click on this button, which uploads it directly to the Screencast.com hosting server. So I'm going to do that. And again, it's probably going to take a second here to upload. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do while we're waiting for that to upload. I'm just going to go ahead and get off the mic, and if anybody has any questions so far about either the presentation that I gave or you know, the demos that I just gave for these two tools, go ahead and either raise your hand or just grab the mic. Okay, so I'm not seeing any pressing questions. So basically, once this finishes uploading, when I log into my Screencast.com account, just like when I was on the Screencast-o-Matic.com, you can go view your account and see the videos that you've uploaded, and then there's options to get the link to that video. You can get embed code, so you can embed it into a web page just like you did with Screencast-o-Matic. And I wanted to point out to you in the D2L student tutorials, in the text editor tutorials, there's a tutorial that I created about embedding external content into a text area in D2L, and a text area would be like when you're composing a discussion post, And as well as when you get to your ePortfolio, you can create text areas on ePortfolio pages where then you could embed videos. This tutorial shows you how to use the embed code that you get from a website, a video hosting website, and how to embed that into a D2L text area. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Once you've created some screencasts, uploaded them to a hosting server, then if you go grab the embed code for that specific screencast, you can actually share it in your discussion posts or on your ePortfolio. I don't think you can do an embed code in email messages. All right, it looks like Jing finished uploading. So here I am. I'm uploaded. I'm logged into my Screencast.com account, and if I go to this folder right here, labeled Jing, here's the video. I just used sort of the default name. If I want to get the link and the embed code, I click on this little sort of 3-arrow icon to the left of the video, and there's the link to the video. If you want to share that with someone, they can view the video on the Screencast.com server. And then here's the embed code. Oh, actually, here's the embed code if you want to embed it into a web page. All right, so I think that kind of covered the demo. That was a bit of a whirlwind, so I apologize if that went by kind of fast. I'm going to go ahead and open it up one more time to questions, and if there aren't any pressing questions, we'll be able to actually finish up a little early so you guys can go check out Dr. Hirsch's forum if you're so inclined. Yes, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Jay Ragna? We are recording this session, and I'm not quite sure how we'll put out word about the recording, but it should be available at the very least if you go to the ASIS&T website. So why don't I go ahead and quit app sharing, and I'll give you some links for our website. Go ahead, Sarah. I think I was on the mic. I meant to actually let go of it.
Hey, Frank. There are a couple questions in the chat window that occurred while you were talking. The first is from Amanda Woodruff. She asked if when you make a screencast using the Screencast-o-Matic tool, and you send that screencast to a recipient to view, does the recipient need to have a Screencast-o-Matic account to view the video?
No, they don't need to have a Screencast-o-Matic account. Same with Jing, with Screencast.com. You need to have an account in order to upload the video to the hosting server, but somebody viewing the video does not need an account. They basically just need the link. They'll click on that link, and it'll take them to that website with a page that displays your video, and then they can. I think it even gives them control over starting and stopping the video. And I think with Jing, you can actually there's an option where you can view it at full size, or you can view it in a smaller size if the video is actually too big for your screen.
Okay, and then a second question in the chat window from Kate Tasker. She says, "Hi Frank, can you manually upload to Screencast.com after saving a Jing screencast to your computer?
Yes, you can definitely do that. I do that actually quite a bit. Sometimes I use CamStudio a lot, although if I'm just creating really fast and quick screencasts that don't need to be quite as slick, I'll use Jing. But I often save the video out to my my computer, and then I just log into my Screencast.com account, and there's well, I'm not doing app sharing anymore, but yeah, there's an option when you're logged into your account where there's a button there. It says upload files or upload videos, so you can upload manually as well. And I don't think you need to. Yeah, well, of course, you don't need to upload videos that you created just with Jing or Screencast-o-Matic. I think I haven't actually tried this, but if you created a unless there's a limitation on formats that they'll accept, I think you can upload. I know they definitely take MP4s. They take the Flash video format. So I think even if you created a video in another format with another tool, you could, and you had it stored on your computer, you could upload it to Screencast.com. Anything else? Sarah, did you have any more questions that you caught in the chat window, or if anyone else has any last-minute questions, we can hang on for a few more minutes, but we definitely want to wrap this up in a few minutes so we can get out of here before Dr. Hirsch's forum starts. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for coming, you guys. I hope this was useful. If nothing else, like I said, I just wanted to impart to you that it's actually really super easy to get access to some pretty cool screencasting tools, and you know, find creative ways to start using these online, you know, in your Facebook account for course assignments, and you know, it's just a nice tool. And even later on when you get library jobs, I'm sure you'll find ways to start using screencasting tools. So Sarah, if you have any last minute comments, I'll just shut up and get off the mic now.
Well, thank you, Frank, for your excellent workshop presentation. That was fantastic. And I would like to thank everyone for attending our student workshop tonight. And I hope to see you all again at another one of our programs this semester. If you haven't already, please consider joining the ASIS student chapter, as we have a lot of exciting things planned for the upcoming year and would love to have you join us. And just one last quick reminder that Dr. Hirsch's Director's Forum will be beginning momentarily at 7 p.m. and I encourage you all to check out that event. Good night, everyone.